It's your boy 22 times here, man, and this is a beautiful day, first off, man, and a beautiful day to be alive. The sun ain't out, but it's still alive. We by palm trees and everything. It's going down, it's going on. But I got an opportunity right now to do something that we haven't had an opportunity to do, so I'm really excited about that. I got my brother, MrJ, right here. And I mean, when I say my brother, you know what I'm saying? We go back a long ways, and we done put in a lot of work together. But we never had an opportunity to talk about our relationship musically on camera. So here goes the point and a chance for me to sit here and chop it up with my boy in front of y'all and for y'all to see and hear and learn a couple things. So just to get it started, man, Jay, tell them a little bit about who you are, where you from, what you do, but start them off with where they can find you and where they can hear what you got going on.
Well, I go by Arkitek, MrJ, MrJ for short. I'm a TV and film producer and artist. Artist first, but producing, over time I grew to love. I've been producing for well over 10 plus years, and been getting my feet wet inside the TV and sync game probably for about 5 years.
I want to say
about 5 years.
A strong 5 years.
A strong 5 years.
Real
strong 5 years. And it's man, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, and there's so many things that you can learn about music if you study and then just ask questions, you know?
Perfect. So, elaborating on asking questions. 5 years in the game, do you remember your first film or television placement and how you felt whenever you heard it for the first time?
Man, my very first placement was on a Hugh Hefner Playboy documentary.
Okay, I remember this one.
It was like an old guitar beat that I made. And I say that was like 2013, I think, 2013.
Okay, and that was a beat.
That was just one beat.
That was a production.
One beat.
Made on a Hugh Hefner, and that was for the History Channel, right?
History Channel, yes.
History Channel.
I found out because I looked at my bank account and then seen like $11. I was like, wait a minute, and broadcast. And I looked at my BMI royalty statement, and it showed Lifetime, I think the history and life of Hugh Hefner and Playboy, how it started. And I was just so hyped. Because it was like, man, I got $11, even though like $11 isn't a lot of money, it meant everything whenever you get paid, you know, to do music.
To do something that you enjoy doing.
So,
okay, so that was your first production placement.
Yes.
How about your first placement as an artist? As in, like, you rapping over something or an actual song that you would put together making a placement or being somewhere?
I think Love and Hip Hop probably was. Love and Hip Hop was in Miami, was probably my first song placement. That was a song I had called Ask Somebody.
Now, was it a different feeling hearing your beat as opposed to hearing your actual full song? Or was it just kind of the same energy for you? Like you knew it was going to produce something and you was just happy it happened? Or was it like, nigga, I got a song out there now? You know what I'm saying? Was it a different energy coming from that?
When you hear your voice broadcasted to millions of people, it's a way different energy. A bit better energy than just the background music, because
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's what I wanted to see if you was gonna how you was gonna go at that, because it's definitely different. It's definitely different. And for people that don't know the history, maybe a year and a half ago, Jay presented the opportunity for me to create some stuff for placements, and I can always just remember, you know, we gonna make some stuff. It's gonna work. We gonna put it out. And me being like, I mean, is it really that simple? And Jay was more or less like, it's really that simple. Yeah. And true to his word, we put out 4 records. The 4 records got picked up. And then we started seeing placements not too long after that. And I remember Jay hitting me up like, yo, check this out. We got a beat landed. And I think it was We Next, I think was one of the first ones.
I think, I believe so.
Hit on like Growing Up Hip Hop or one of the shows like that. But then when Money on the Floor hit on the ABC joint on Bless This Mess. That was just a totally different vibe, because it was like, nigga, this is my voice, this is my music touching the masses. And then not to mention for that specific one, the way they worked it around the scene, the way the scene was built around the record, or the record was almost tailored for the scene, was pretty incredible. But let me say this, now that you have the opportunity to put other artists and other producers in place, how does that feel, and how do you look, and how do you know like what's gonna work and what might not work, or what's worth taking a chance on as far as working with other artists?
Well, it's definitely pretty humbling to know like what exactly it takes to get in TV and film, because a lot of times opportunity be presented for you, and all you have to do is just show up. Like, because half the reason why I even got in TV and film was because I showed up to a meet and greet.
Right.
But definitely what works for TV and film is a feeling. Whatever song that you make, it has to have direction to it, like a certain feeling. Like if you're gonna make like a relationship song, it needs to be about something. It has to have that certain feeling to where whenever a network hits your catalog for that song, they're gonna be like, okay, all right, we need something with passion. What sounds music that you have that sounds like passion? If you need a club song, okay, what song sounds like turn up? What song sounds like aggressiveness? What song sounds like power? What song sounds like what's the word? Fight.
As far as vibe goes in a record, what is your favorite type of records to make? Or what are your favorite type of records to make?
High energy records, because those are the ones that get picked up by sports channels, by movies, by TV shows, club scenes, just a party vibe videos, and money songs. Those get picked up the most.
So now if you were to take a step away from TV and film as just a personal interest when making music, what do you prefer type of records to make?
R&B and pop records.
R&B and pop records.
So you can get more creative, and it's more instrumentation.
Okay. Now I know recently you've done some work with some different artists as far as songwriting for other people, and I'm not talking about rap. I'm talking about like R&B songs like that. So, what kind of zone do you have to get in? Because traditionally you're not a singer, you're a rapper traditionally, but I know you understand melodies and keys and things like that. So, what is that like to create an R&B song or create like a pop song for someone to sing? How does that feel? Or what type of energy do you channel to create that?
Well, as always, as you know, I always ask the artist, like, how are you feeling today? And what type of record do you want to make? And usually they'll guide you through the direction. You just have to just ask them what subject do you want to talk about. And then once they give me the subject, I'll look at, okay, what environment are we going to be in? Where is this song going to be played at? And whatever the feeling is, that's what I'm writing off of. And it could be off personal experience too. Off of their experience and my experience of, relationships or just life in general.
Yeah. Whenever you're making music, do you lean more on personal experience or do you lean more on just trying to create a good song? Or like, whenever you're making something, are you drawing from personal experience often? Or is it rare that you actually say, all right, I'm going to take something that's really happened to me and involve it or
a little bit
intertwine it into the record?
Sorry about that. A little bit of both, really. Because a personal experience, I say personal experience makes the best songs.
Yeah.
Because like you can really feel it. Like, because that, whenever I'll say like a certain line, that'll make me go in and change a certain melody. Be like, okay, this melody needs to be stronger on this verse. Because as we saying, music is a feeling, sound effects is our feelings, and just audio in general.
Okay. Now I know a lot of songs in your catalog that maybe everybody isn't familiar with. I remember the 18s Won't Make You a Man, which I know was from personal experience. Family Dinner, records like that. I don't know if you released personal songs. So of all of the songs that you've made from personal experience, what is one that came out like almost perfect to you? Or what's that one that you just love going back and listening to because it came out exactly how you wanted it to be?
It's a song I got released recently, I say last year, called 2004, and it reminded me and it took me back to a place in my life where it was like one of the best years ever as far as music, just life in general. Like even when Super Bowl was in Houston.
Yeah, 2004.
2004. Was it, I'm trying to remember which Kanye album came out in 2004.
Was that late registration?
Might have been late registration.
Either way.
Yeah, it was basically 2004 was a good year for music and just life in general. Okay. Well,
Okay. So now me, like I said, man, you my guy. I'm a fan of what you do. A lot of records, I do enjoy. Damn Gina, was one of them records that I could still turn on right now and vibe out to it. And I don't know how many people in the masses have gotten an opportunity to hear the record, but give me a little bit of the inspiration behind records like that, like where you just targeted a subject and said, all right, cool. What made you say, I'm gonna make a record called Damn Gina and go on from there?
Well, obviously Damn Gina is derived off the Martin TV show.
Yes, indeed.
Hook was catchy, and it was about a personal relationship that I went through.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So that was a little bit of pop culture, just stuff you was into, mixed with, you
Yeah.
know, a personal or
It definitely
personal
was.
past
It
situation.
definitely, yeah, it definitely was a personal situation of
Indeed.
just because when you're going through relationships, it's a number of feelings of jumping back and forth,
Yeah.
making up, the breakup. We've all been through that.
Yeah, and that's hell. That's you know
Yeah.
that's Drake, and you know that's Drake. That's Adele. That's Taylor Swift. That's the discography is relationships. So it's not like it's a bad thing to draw from. But you talk about TV and film. How is your approach now as a musician, as an artist? You tried for years. You made pushes with different records and different singles to try to establish yourself as an artist. But that TV and film push is a lot different. It's a lot different lane. Tell me the differences in your opinion in trying to be a radio or mainstream artist as opposed to that push for TV and film.
Man, it's definitely a whole different lane because you're just building a catalog and you're creating more records and you're trying different stuff. And you're just making basically how you feel. Making records how you feel and making situational songs.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
everything in a movie and a TV show is based off of situations.
Facts.
Like in the Fast and Furious movie, like it'll be high speed, high energy,
Yeah.
suspense, action,
True.
type stuff like that.
And that is true. I guess I'm thinking about it in answering the question that I just asked as well. I'm thinking about how when I was trying to do things to make the radio, I had to make records that felt like radio records, as opposed to when we do TV and film, it's really just about making the type of music that you want to make. So if I come in and I feel like you know, I feel like grinding that day, I'm gonna make a song about grinding. If I feel motivated, I'm gonna make a song about motivation. And it felt like you couldn't do that trying to make radio records because you got to make that record that's gonna make the club jump. It's gonna make, you know, somebody ride to. So that is interesting enough. So as far as TV and film goes, where do you see? What are some of your goals? You've accomplished a lot, and we didn't really speak to a lot of the accomplishments that you made. How many placements would you say you've had in your TV and film career thus far? Individual placements.
As far in like individual songs or actual syncs?
Let's say syncs.
Ooh, I want to say
Just give us
well
a
over
ballpark number.
well over 1,500.
1,500.
Well over
1,500 placements, people. Just look, you know, I knew it was a big number, but 1,500 placements.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge. So did you see that? Did you see that type of success coming whenever you first got into it? Or, I mean, what was your mindset? What were you thinking? What was your goal? Like, what was realistic for you?
Man, realistically, the ultimate goal was just to get the music heard. But to get a paycheck with it, it's just a whole different feeling.
That's a fact. And that's not to cut you off, but that's something we always talk about. It's like the paycheck is there, but the exposure is huge. Being able to marry your personal catalog with that TV and film catalog and use that to promote what you do, that's an important aspect.
Yeah, it's like, and necessarily you don't even have to really just chase a sound because you can still make radio records, but you're basically, like you said, you're just making what you want to make, and you can like legit build a following off of that, off just creating content, creating music, and you know, stuff that whenever somebody hears a song that they like on a TV show, they'll go search for it. They'll search for it, and then now you got a new follower that's looking forward to, hey, man, I like this song that you got. Let's see what else you got.
Word. So now you had the record Dough with Balance.
Yes.
You had 3 major movie placements, maybe more, but those I can think of
About
3.
About three, yeah.
And that was
Hustlers, Super Troopers 2, and the First Purge.
First Purge. Now, how does that feel? Movie placement. Like whenever you go and experience something you created in a movie theater and you hearing it for the first time that way, how does that feel?
It feels amazing because something that I made inside my bedroom is being played to millions of people that went to the theater to go watch it. And then you look at box office sales and then you look at a royalty statement and you see how many times it was played, and you look at it being ran on reruns. And then just to hear the song, you know, your music in a theater played out loud is just a different experience.
What are production wise? Let me give me your top 5 influences as far as production goes.
Kanye West, Timberland, and Quincy Jones.
So three.
Three.
Well,
Well,
three. You don't even
well,
need the five.
You don't even need the 5, really. Yeah.
It's three. Okay. So what's a record, most revolutionary record? What was the record from Kanye West that you heard that made you say, yo, I got to step up what I'm doing, or yo, I got to change what I'm doing? Like what clicked? What did you hear that made it click in you that, all right, let me add this to my production repertoire?
Kanye has 2 songs that that make me say, man, All Falls Down, because it was more, it had like grungy guitars and stuff in it, and the raw feeling, and then All the Lights, because the instrumentation and just how powerful it sounds. The song, the song sounded like a movie within itself. Like every time I hear that song, I can picture it in any winning movie, like a movie that pertains to winning competition, or just somebody going through a feeling, man. It's just that vibe was just it just overtakes everything. And then with the mixture of Kid Cudi with Rihanna, and then you have Drake on the remix, and then the change ups, the melodies, and then you different listening to the mixes too. So
not to cut you off, I'm just throwing some questions at you. Now I know I would consider you coming from a musical family, and the reason I say that is your older brother is a producer. He's also on the TV and film lane, and then your cousin Groove is a known drummer out and about. So what was it like growing up around really talented musicians? What was it? Did it motivate you to want to get into it? Did it push you to work harder? What was it like being in that company coming up?
Man, it was very competitive, because eventually I had to learn how to make beats, because whenever I first started rapping, I want to say 9th grade year in high school, I kept asking my brother for beats. So he'd be like, man, why don't you just learn how to make beats and I'll show you. So once he finally showed me how to make beats, I would always bring him a beat, and he'd be like, man, that don't sound right. Listen to this. So it became a competition. He'd be like, you know what, man, I'm going to outdo you. And even to this day, we still compete on music as far as placements, or who's going to get that first Disney placement first. That's what we're competing at right now.
And that's a beautiful thing, because you know what they say, steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. So it is important to have a bar to set that you're chasing. So that's really dope that you did that, and that's dope that you was able to transition that now to where who's going to be the first to get a Disney placement. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. So how influential would you say your brother was in your production? Would you say more or less than maybe what you drew from the Kanye West, the Quincy Joneses, et cetera?
He, outside of Kanye West and Quincy Jones and Timberland, he probably is number 1, because I literally chased him. He just seeing everything that he was able to do, because now I have more of an appreciation for music, because back then when I first started doing it, I was like, man, why is he always spending so much time piano lessons? Why is he always playing the drums? Why is he always playing the clarinet? Now I have more of appreciation to it. Man, that takes skill to do that. Time, skill, because it's not easy to put together melodies, different melodies, when you're making a beat all the time. Because it's when you listen to the radio, a lot of the melodies be the same, but when you're very musically inclined, to sit there and come up with thousands of different melodies to where none of the beats sound the same, that's a talent in itself.
Word, man. I'm gonna go out on a question. We'll kind of wrap it up. So, and I kind of asked this already. I know you say y'all chasing the Disney placement. 5 years from now, give me another 5 things you'd like to see yourself have accomplished as far as your musicianship goes.
Well, I definitely want to have everybody that I'm doing TV and film with movie placements, have them doing music full time, and have everybody with video game placement, and then have my own sync and film company, basically, and then bringing up-tier producers and artists into play. So yeah, that's coming.
Now I'm gonna say something. Y'all notice this. This man named 3 things that he wanted to do for other people before he named the things he wanted to do for himself. It's that type of selflessness that is gonna propel what you're doing to where it needs to be, because that's what it takes. At the end of the day, we can be all about ourselves, but whenever you are at the same time looking out for people and putting your hands in what other people got going on, man, that's what makes it important. And I appreciate everything that you've done for me so far.
It's it's not fun when you just eating by yourself. You know, it's not
Word.
fun. It's like I get more joy out of seeing other people smile or whatever off of, you know, accomplishments and stuff. Because you know we've been doing music for so long.
Word.
That when you finally see the fruits of the labor, like it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing, people. It's a beautiful thing, man. And we're gonna close on that note. And this might be a part one of many, man. So I look forward to y'all checking this out and then come and seeing what me and Jay got going on in the future, baby. After it's more movie placements and more beats being made and all of the good stuff. So salute, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Shout out to my boy Catch and Shoot, man. This wouldn't be possible without him. So let's get it.